All right. Clap one on three.
I'm coming.
One, two, three. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of True Crime and Cocktails. We're so glad that you're here. As always, I am your host, Lauren Ash, and as always, I am joined by my co-hostess with the mostess, Christy Oxborrow. How you feeling?
I'm great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know if you can tell that I'm great, but it's because I am just like 24 hours-ish off of watching one of my favorite movies in the world, Jurassic Park.
I knew I was gonna say, I was gonna guess. I was gonna
Yeah,
guess Jurassic Park.
yeah. Oh God, like a week ago, we watched the newest one,
Mm-hmm.
which I know a lot of people are like, I didn't really love it. I have thoughts, but it's fine. Um, Jonathan Bailey. I get the whole slutty little glasses. Like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Just keep putting him in the franchise. Um, but my 9-year-old
Mm-hmm.
watched the movie and I was like, I don't know how he's gonna feel about it. And he was like, I liked it. I liked the part where the dinosaur went in the water. And I was like, fascinating. That might have been the only time he looked at the screen. Who knows? But I was like, I love that. So I was like, are you interested in more Jurassic World, Jurassic Park type movies? And he was like, sure. So my two youngest were like, we're interested. I'm like, it's my movie pick. I'm gonna pick Jurassic Park. The first one, in my opinion, the best one. Are you interested? They were like, yes. So we went out, we got the drinks, we got the snacks, we got ourselves ready to go. Did I, in earnest, as the movie was starting, turn to them and go, you're in for a real treat? I did. I genuinely did.
That's like a mom overhype.
Yeah. Oh, did I like as soon as something was about to happen, like watch to
Yep.
see are they as impressed with this as I was? Um, yeah, about 45 minutes into it, did I suddenly go, is there some kind of a Jurassic Park board game? So I started like Googling, like, is there one? I discovered there is a Jurassic Park game of life.
What?
You like go around in like the little Jeep. You collect people, like you save them from the dinosaurs. Apparently, you have to collect eggs. I don't know. I'll find out tomorrow when it arrives.
Oh, that's incredible. I love
Yeah,
that
I can't
reveal.
wait. I've also begged already for them to play with me. I was like, please tell me you will play this with me. And they were like, I guess, yeah. In the end, both liked it.
That's great.
They're interested in more. And I've already told them there are a lot, but focus on park and world. The first Jurassic World, chef's kiss. The very first Jurassic Park, perfect. No notes.
Mm,
The rest of them, they're okay.
yeah.
But it's Jurassic Park, Jurassic World. Those ones I rewatch constantly, and I'm sure I'll give the new one, the Rebirth or whatever it's called. I'll give it a few views. I'm sure. I just didn't love the dinosaurs in it. They freaked me out more than dinosaurs already freaked me out.
Yeah, I'm very behind. I haven't watched
Oh, it's
virtually any of this other than the original.
of course. Well, again, it's hard to get better than that. Again, I've seen it so many times, so I know what's going to happen. But it's when the scene cuts to full shot
Hmm.
of Jeff Goldblum's heaving chest.
Hmm.
That's the moment I'm like, that Spielberg knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
Because I was like, that's the shot. Unnecessary.
completely unnecessary.
But God, I loved it.
Yeah.
Also, just know, like, when I'm watching that movie, it's like every 5 minutes me going, God, I love her, meaning Laura Dern, or God, I love him, usually meaning Jeff Goldblum.
But you're a Sam
Sometimes
Neill fan too.
I do love Sam Neill. I also spent, for no reason, the entire movie trying to decide who I would cosplay as if we ever did Jurassic Park. And I just went, ooh, maybe I would do this with that outfit. My husband's like, when are you ever doing that? I'm like, we don't have plans for it.
I was just gonna say we could do
No,
this anytime.
my brain, when I watch anything now, my brain is like, that's the outfit I'd pick.
Oh my God. I just got hit with a wave of panic, and you're gonna love why. I'm like, God, it's mid-August and we haven't even talked about cosplay season yet. It's mid-August, Lauren. You have 2 months. But I don't need to tell you.
Oh,
If
it's gonna fly by.
I'm gonna be up in Canada, I'm gonna be doing, a lot of different things, and I need time to source the pieces.
I'm not gonna lie, and I know this is gonna sound sad, but I was going to say, do we consider fewer cosplays this time?
Wow.
I
Okay.
just didn't. I know you already have so much on your plate at that specific time.
Of
I
course, of
didn't want to
course.
add more.
No, but like, what are we talking? Okay, because cosplay season last year we did 2 Halloweens.
Oh,
We
I
did
think we did 3 Halloweens,
we
didn't
do
we?
3? I
Because
thought we cut down to 2.
we for sure did a costume on the brunch, and then I thought we did a costume on the regular episode and on the Patreon episode,
It
didn't
does
we?
sound like something we would do. I know that that's what we were doing before.
God, what did we even do
I
last
thought
year?
we
For
cut
sure,
back
I was Buzz Lightyear at one point. I think
last
that
year,
was for the brunch. I thought, no?
or was
I'll
that the
check
year
my
before?
cosplay folder.
No, but listen,
Thank God.
how much are you talking about cutting back on? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, well, there's the Buzz Lightyear one. 2023.
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I thought it was 2 years ago.
Oh my God. Okay, well, let's see what's this year because I have them all August 24. There you go. You were Lady.
Oh, cute.
What a lady. I was Cusco.
Yep.
That's that's right. And then we did uh Eternal Sunshine.
Right.
And then then I have so I think you're right.
Yeah,
Well,
we cut back. The year
when did we
before,
do the Keanu?
2023.
Hmm.
2023 we did more. And then last year we were like, let's do ourselves a favor and cut back. So we did 2 at Halloween, 1 at Christmas, and then did we do the Lauren Ash
I don't
birthday?
think we did.
No, see, and so I guess what I'm saying is, are we cutting down less than 3 now?
Oh, I just assumed because we usually have like the brunch and and an episode
Yeah.
for October,
Mm-hmm.
and then the one at Christmas, and then the one at your birthday. So I just assumed we were only going to do the one, because this is an audio medium,
Yeah,
we would only do the one for October. Um,
that's fair. I mean, we can cut down.
we don't have to. I'm just
No,
saying
no,
we're
no, no.
free. I don't want you to feel pressured because I know you already have so many things.
I guess I need. You're gonna love this caveat.
Mhm.
I guess I need to know what the themes are so then I can determine how much time I need. What
Well,
a psycho.
no, not at all. This is the problem. This is why we end up doing so many cosplays, is because we have too many ideas.
We don't want
We
to choose.
we don't want to choose. We come up with like 8 ideas and we're like, well, I guess we just do them all.
Well, what's good about Christmas is that it's always Love Actually.
That is nice.
So that
Yeah.
narrows it down. And I know what people are thinking. You're gonna run out. No, we
No, we're
ain't.
not.
No, we ain't.
No. It's just constant.
There's so
There's
many
always
characters.
so many.
And if we did ever run out, we'll just start over again, you know?
If one day I have to be that ugly piece of jewelry he gives to that little side piece, I will be. Just my face in the heart necklace, that god awful thing. I could also be Joni Mitchell on the cover of the CD.
There's so many
There's so
things.
many. Again, so
I
many.
forgot that last year I was Keira Knightley in the TV screen.
Yeah,
That was clever.
it was. I like when you toot your own horn. I
I do
like that
too.
a lot.
I do too. Listen, today I'm like finalizing the stuff for the album.
Yeah,
Um, and I had to write a list of thank yous. And I was like, my
sure.
list was so long. And then I was like, no, cut it down to people that specifically did something for the album, right? Like, or was like, it was specific to that. And what's the last thank you on there, I tell you? Myself.
Good for you.
I was
Yes.
like, you know who I'd like to thank the most? Me for doing all of this.
Yes. 100%
you
yes.
know?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
Oh
Not to be
God.
an a-hole, but you know what I'm saying.
It's it's not an a-hole when you're being supportive of yourself.
Here's my question. Are we
Yeah.
sticking to a Disney Pixar situation?
I feel like I've unraveled you, and I didn't mean to. I
No,
thought this was being helpful, but you're right. It would be more helpful to because this is something you love.
right.
So
So
this
I
would
just
be
need to
more
know.
helpful.
Yeah.
I mean, we've done a few of them, haven't we?
I feel like that was kind of becoming yearly, but we don't also need to stick to it.
Well, again, we'll never run out
Yeah.
because it's so broad.
Hmm.
I mean, look, I've already written down cosplay ideas. I assume we need two for October. And then obviously Love Actually in December, and then your birthday, which is your choice
Yeah.
in February.
And we skipped it this year, I think, because I was so crazy busy with music.
Yes.
Um,
Which is the only reason I suggested it for October, and then spiraling started happening.
well,
So
no,
I feel
no,
like
no.
I feel like I'll take that back. We could totally do it.
No, doing one is more practical. That is certain.
But we're
How
obviously
about
going to come
this?
up with another idea that we're going to be like, we like that better.
Well, how about this? Let's come up with the themes for two. And then what we can always do is push one to February for my birthday,
Sure,
right? But let's come up with the two themes at least.
of course.
And then we can determine, yes, we have the bandwidth and the time to, and the energy to do both in October. If
Of
not, we
course.
choose one. Future us's problem.
Of course. I mean, it's not a no for the
Okay.
Disney Pixar. I'm just worried, are we going to have other ones we prefer over
I'm
that?
feeling uninspired by that theme. I'm feeling uninspired by it. I'm feeling like I want something snappy. I want something that gets me by the ya. You know what I mean?
I I often love when my yaya gets grabbed. Um, wow. Um, yeah, I mean,
Yeah. We
I
don't have to
guess
decide right now. We don't have to decide right
right,
now, but
right.
you know.
We're just going to need to start whiteboarding. What are some thoughts? What are some feelings? What
Hmm.
are some themes?
Hmm.
Are we going to like, because I of course assume, oh, this is why we got on the two themes to begin with. Because one, we chose a theme and surprised each other with what it is. The
Hmm.
other, we were a couple costume.
Couple costume.
Fuck.
See, that's the problem. And then it's like, which are we cutting?
Yeah.
I mean, think about such fantastic couples costumes as Kurt and Goldie from Overboard, the boys from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Like these were
Mhm.
fucking inspired.
Yeah. This is what this, and that's exactly what we need. We need inspiration.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
need something that we're like, there it is.
yeah, yeah. I
Like
don't
on one
want.
hand, I'm like, I would love to see us do the Muppets. But on the other hand, I'm
Oh,
like, I can't paint my face a color. If I have to be one of them, like I don't
you
know that I
can't,
could.
or you just won't.
I oh, I think it's for the best if I don't, because we know I'm gonna cheap out on the paint, and next thing you know, it's not gonna work out. I'm gonna sweat it off. I'm gonna end up putting like regular paint on my face, and it's gonna be a nightmare. I will
Yeah,
put regular paint on my face, don't worry. But it's gonna become a problem.
yeah,
I already feel it now. And I'm gonna like I'll be like Tobias and I'll have like blue handprints all over the place. I that's why I'm like I think I have to draw the line at painting my face a full color, but oh God, it's the exact same. I mean, you said we didn't have to talk about it now, but it's too late. I know I just said I don't think we could do Muppets
mm-hmm,
because I couldn't do a full face,
mm-hmm.
but
Talk to me.
Sesame Street.
Okay.
Because I've recently realized I always knew that I loved Sesame Street as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I had the Fisher Price Sesame Street house. Um, Still have it to this day. It was one of my favorite things in the world. It lives in my bedroom, so I see it every single day. just because I didn't have the heart to put it into storage. Just and because I like seeing it. And I realized that I was like, oh my God, I think, and this is me overanalyzing everything, but I was like, I think it was the one house that never changed when I was a kid moving
Mm,
around. And so I was like, it was like my one safe house. And I loved it so much because when I found out that a t-shirt company I liked was dropping a Sesame Street series, I was beside myself.
right.
I could not, like, I was panicking. I was like, when is this dropping? Let me see the items. Like, I was losing it.
Hmm.
And that was the moment I was like, oh my God, I'm obsessed with Sesame Street and
Right.
always have been. So I'm like, I think, oh God, well, I'm gonna write it down. You didn't say yes or no, but I'm gonna write it down just in case.
Of course, I'm immediately like, are you Bert and I'm Ernie? But that's not, we can't think about how cute that would be. I don't feel like either of us is really a Bert, to be honest.
I was gonna say, oh, I'm more shaped for Ernie. Although, I mean, Ernie and the rubber ducky.
I, that scene,
Hmm.
it makes me laugh every time. I hadn't seen it in years. I've shared it on my socials recently because it came up in my feed somewhere and I was like,
Mm.
this is so funny. It's just a perfect game. That's what we call in the comedy business as heightening. That's what we refer to as heightening. So of
Hmm.
course, it's just a game of
Hmm.
heightening. It's just like what's the next? What's the next? What's the next? And
Yeah.
it's the moment. It's little Bert. It's Bart's nephew. What's his name again? Fuck, I was the one that posted it and I can't remember.
Oh, I don't
Julian
know.
or something. What is the name of that little child? We have to find this out. Anyway, I'll Google it in a second. But it's the moment where it's like, oh, well, we got the swan, and now we got the baby, baby, baby. It's the little Bert's nephew repeating baby. It's the cutest thing I think on the planet.
Hmm.
Now I'm tipping my hand because if I have a choice, I want to go as Bert's nephew.
Well, I love the idea of being like, okay, look, dual Sesame Street.
Hmm.
One, we pick a couple one.
Hmm.
The other, we surprise each other. And you you want to be Bert's nephew?
Brad,
Oh my God, he's cute. He's cute.
how are we doing this? Then we're painting our faces yellow. I hear you. Like this isn't making the workload easier. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I also considered, I mean, it's also, again, not off the table,
Nothing's off the table yet.
McDonald Land
Damn
characters.
it. God damn it. I want to kiss you on the mouth. Yes. Ah,
I mean,
God, who would we
this is
be?
this is why, well, immediately my first gut in my heart instinct, a fry guy.
That's
The idea of
cute.
putting like a little wall here and having little legs.
I just pictured the Zoom opens and there you are in a giant purple cutout and then your face is just completely painted. Like that's what immediately came to my mind.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
I mean, again, why am I immediately going like, guess I have to be Birdie? You know what's so interesting about me? I always gravitate to the female characters.
You
As
do.
a little kid, I always did. Like, I remember there was like Simpsons action figures, and I saved my allowance to get one. And then when I got there, I was like, which one do I want? Do you know who I chose? Maggie.
Lisa. Oh,
Maggie.
Maggie was the best character. Maggie was my favorite.
Maggie was a great character. Don't get me wrong. Now, listen, they didn't have, I don't think they had all the characters, but it was one of those things where like every ounce of my being was like, I don't want to choose a male character. And I know some may say, like, well, that's
Fascinating.
super heteronormative, Lauren, but I actually don't think that that's what it is. I think it was just that I was like, I can't relate. I can't relate to the
Sure.
male character or something. But anyway, point being is I always do it. Even now. You're always gender bending beautifully, by the way. We all remember Riker in the arms of the angel.
I'm
Um,
more comfortable playing a man. That's psychologist hat. Like
yeah.
that's lay on the couch. Let's talk about it. Like that's something. Oh, fuck. The Simpsons.
Again, the yellow face paint is getting real.
I
It's as
know.
bad as Brad. Baby, baby.
It's the fact that I said no to face paint and then immediately gave three ideas that involve face
Yeah.
paint.
Yep. Yep.
The
That is not
only
lost on
ideas
me.
so far
Hmm.
I've
Hmm.
given involve face paint. I'm also going to write down Muppets just in case.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Muppets, who would I even choose? It's so difficult.
It's a lot. I mean, we wouldn't have to paint our faces
I can't wait.
to be Statler and Waldorf.
It was the first thing that came to my mind. When you first said Muppets before, I literally was on the tip of my
Hmm.
tongue to say Statler and Waldorf, and then you were like, oh, but the face paint, and then it moved on. But that, I kid you not, I had the
I,
exact same thought.
we are their energy.
Yep.
The only problem with that is put up with weeks or months of me texting you going, okay, which one am I again?
Hmm.
Because that'll be the joke is the Zoom opens and we're the exact same one because I forgot which one. Like the time you were like, hey, can we do 7:30? And I went, cool, that's 6:30 for me. And you went, hun, that's 8:30. And I was
That's
like,
not your fault, though. I've been going back and forth between two time zones, and you're always in the middle. Like, that's not on you.
the problem is my time never changes.
Yeah.
Ever because even when they're like, "Oh, we're gonna change things," our province goes, "Fuck no, we're not."
Don't go
Yeah,
changing.
and I'll say it. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice not having the. I'm sure it's beautiful to have that moment of we've gained an hour, but when you lose the hour,
You know, the only thing I like about losing the hour is that
hmm.
then it feels like Christmas is coming because
Oh, sure.
it's darker earlier. And I always think about
Hmm.
like Christmas shopping is always like you go out to Christmas shop in the dark.
Okay,
I
I
mean,
like that Christmas shopping and the dark are like,
it's synonymous for me.
yeah,
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah. I don't want a Christmas shop in the day. I want to go out in the dark. I don't know, man. I don't
I
know.
don't know that I ever really did a lot of Christmas shopping in the dark.
We did once.
Well, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, again, clearly I was in the driver's seat, literally and figuratively on that. Um, since it's something I apparently love. Um, yeah, but I hear you. I hear you. I mean, no one wants to lose the hour, but I guess for me that's like the little orphan Annie silver lining, you know?
Fuck. Annie and Daddy Warbucks.
Oh my God.
This writes itself.
It always does.
I just assume I'm Daddy.
I if you think that you don't want to dress in that costume and I don't want to be in a tight curly red wig, you're dead wrong. Tomorrow, tomorrow. Come on.
Oh, Bean could be Sandy.
Come on. I do feel like I carry guilt that I have not been utilizing Bean in our costumes more. You know,
Sure.
why couldn't she have been Keanu's gun? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. I just, I'm hearing it. We can't cut down.
I don't think we can. Here's the thing I'll say. I
Yeah.
think maybe what we need to take to keep in mind is like the words that are about to come out of my mouth in earnest. Jesus Christ, we're fucking yahoos. I think the thing we need to keep in mind
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is that we need to choose one that's simpler. We need to choose one, like, if we're gonna do
Oh.
one that's gonna her response. Wow. Um, if we're gonna do one that
Hmm.
requires like extensive face paint or prosthetics or
Sure.
something insane,
Hmm.
then we maybe the other one is easy. And what am I even saying? Because we don't do anything halfway.
Well, and that's the other joke. Some people might be like, well, these are like a number of the things I mentioned have costumes you can go and buy. That's not who we are.
I
We
only ever want to do homemade.
we're picky pieces. I don't know what this crab movement is that I'm doing, but we pick pieces, we build it to
You know what that
that's
movement is? Under the sea, Sebastian, get it in there. You know what I mean?
Little Mermaid, writing it down.
Come on.
Okay, Little Mermaid, Annie.
I
Just
mean, what doesn't make sense is that you're not the redheaded child. Like it would make complete sense.
it makes
All you
com
would do is like tight curl your hair.
oh, it makes complete sense to me that I'd wear a bald wig over the one person in this that's redheaded
Hmm.
when the main character would be redhead. This makes complete sense to me. Also, just know, Little Mermaid, my gut says Triton.
How are you gonna do that shirtless bit? You're gonna have to make a fake shirt, a fake chest.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I've heard worse ideas.
I know. But again, it's like that's my yeah. Annie, obviously Daddy wore books.
Yeah.
Little Mermaid, who's also redheaded. Oh, her father.
Oh my God, there's a real pattern happening here.
There is. There is. God.
I would have thought you might have gone Ursula.
Oh, I would like the attitude. I
Yeah.
think I'd get too deep into it that I would not come back out. But yeah, I'd like that.
The
But
idea, the idea that you'd go too deep into character for a cosplay.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh my
Oh God.
God.
I mean, even looking at my list, Simpsons, there's not a chance I'm playing a woman.
No, you're Homer. We both know it.
Interesting.
Oh,
I don't know. I mean, on one hand, I mean, my gut instinct of like, who would I ever want to be? Ned Flanders when he has the hot ass in the snowsuit.
you know who my immediate thought was though for you? Honestly, all this
I
is all
can't
jokes
wait.
aside.
Hmm.
Smithers.
I do have a Smithers. Smithers would be an unboxer. Yeah. Oh, I
There's
wouldn't.
there's a universe right now where Smithers
Mhm.
is unboxing little My Little Pony toys or something.
Yes.
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 You have a Smithers vibe.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know I said no women, but like Krabappel,
That was going to be my next thing is that I know that she's your favorite character.
she is.
You know, what's interesting is there is a male character that I am also thinking I would like to do.
You're gonna gender bend?
Crazy. I'm not committing to it. But any guesses of who my like first thought was? I got two in mind.
Mhm.
Male
Okay.
characters. Now, first of all, I'm taking Mr. Burns off the list because there is a world in which we do a couple's costume of Mr. Smithers and Mr. Burns, and I'm into it.
God, I'm delighted.
Yep.
Um,
But there's two male characters.
I mean, the first one that comes to mind is Rod or Todd.
Oh, cute. Cute.
But
Not
you're
what I was
telling me
thinking.
no.
Nope.
Ralph.
It should be Ralph.
You can pinpoint the moment that his heart breaks. Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know why that's the quotable part from
it's
that
the
show, but
best.
it is. Oh, a male character.
Hmm. Think more of a side character.
Disco Stew.
That was one of the two.
Okay.
That was one of the two.
Um,
The other one is a little bit more, he's in a little bit more than Disco Stew, but he's still pretty peripheral.
Wiggum.
No,
Barney. Oh,
no,
Mo.
no. Great
Oh.
guesses though.
Flanders when he's not having a hot ass.
Not Flanders.
Male character. Oh, what's the he's like is he the superhero guy?
No.
Oh, okay.
Radioactive Man? No.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not the who I was thinking of.
Troy McClure?
Oh yeah, that could be. He's not a
No.
superhero, but yeah, Troy McClure would have been a solid answer. Um, Sideshow Bob?
No. You want me to tell you?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
My name is Otto, and I like to get blotto.
My brain did not even consider. Oh my God, we could be Skinner and his mother.
Oh my God. That's a good one too.
The idea of us, there's not a planet on which we could be Smithers and Burns and it wouldn't be creepy as hell. Homemade Smithers and Burns?
Again, are we
Oh,
painting ourselves yellow or are we just gonna just embrace ourselves as we are?
I think we'd have to embrace ourselves as we are.
Yeah. But then
Because
I'm
then
like, then what screams that you're a Simpsons character?
you're right.
How am I doing the bald cap? Well, I guess a bald cap is easier. How are you doing like how would we do Bart or Lisa hair? Like we can't. We don't have the time. We can't start creating like skull caps with with spikes in them.
hmm hmm This is what happens when we say, like, just not feeling inspired about the Disney choices.
This is what happens. We're a half an hour into this. And by the way, folks, I if you're on Patreon, buckle in because we're going to continue this conversation there after we're done. We both know
I,
it.
I want you to know I forgot we were recording. I thought we were still just dicking around. Whoops.
Oh
Yeah.
God, that's incredible. Well, listen, on that note, what you drinking over there?
I just have the bottom half of a Slurpee at this point.
I I'm two drinks deep.
Good for you.
And what am I
hmm
drinking? Some little watermelon sugar high noon. Watermelon sugar high noon. Again, missed opportunity on the high noon people's parts. I stand by that.
Yes.
Yeah, just a couple watermelon high noons. I really wanted white wine, but I'll be honest, I didn't want to leave my home. And then I
I,
was gonna get it delivered, and then I
yeah,
was like, you have perfectly good high noons in the fridge. And let me tell you something. These are lovely. I have
good
no
for
notes for
you.
the high noons. I really wanted that white wine. And the problem now
Mm.
is I'm going to be chasing it. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's like if I had drank it tonight, I probably wouldn't drink tomorrow. Now, guess again.
Well, that's always the problem when you're like, ooh, I want that. And then you're like, I'll just have this instead. Nope, because you're not going to stop
Hmm.
until you get the first thing.
Exactly.
I get that.
Exactly.
I get that.
Well, listen, folks, we're talking Southern Fried Lies. This is a documentary that I watched, and then I texted Christy Lynn there, and I was like, I think we should do this on the show. It's a wild story, and if you don't know anything about it, never fear, because the synopsis is right here. Southern Fried Lies is a documentary about the mysterious death of Matthew Jacobs. In 2015, Matthew's car crossed several lanes of traffic and crashed into a tree. Despite no autopsy being performed, the coroner was quick to say that it was just a tragic accident. But when a will is found which leaves Matthew's $1.7 million estate to his young fiancée, Matthew's family starts to question whether Matthew's death was really an accident. With wire fraud, identity theft, money laundering, and not one but two more suspicious deaths, this case will keep you guessing right up until the end.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
You're not.
This this went so many places that I was like, get out. Ah, well, so disclaimer, this episode will contain mentions of suicide, so trigger warning for those who need it. Matthew Seth Jacobs was born April 24th, 1980 in Arkansas. His parents were Ed and Glenda Jacobs, and from the best I can tell, they both had children from previous relationships when they got married. Matthew had a brother Lance, a sister Erin, and two step siblings. On December 30th, 1997, Matthew and his girlfriend Katina Durrell had a son named Jordan Matthew Jacobs. 2 months later, Matthew and Katina got married. They were 17 and 18, respectively. The couple divorced in 2001. In June 2006, when Matthew was 26 years old, he married 28-year-old Angela Hopkins. Sadly, in July 2007, Matthew's mother, Glenda, passed away at the age of 59. She had spent 30 years of her life as a nurse. Matthew was devastated as he and his mother were very close. At some point after his mother's death, Matthew and Angela got divorced. Matthew then had a series of relationships, including a few engagements, but nothing seemed to last. He took a job on an offshore oil rig as a roustabout. which is basically a manual laborer who performs a variety of tasks, including inspecting equipment, cleaning, general maintenance, and repairs. The rig was called Deepwater Horizon, and it was located approximately 42 miles off the coast of Louisiana in the Gulf of Mexico. It was owned and operated by a drilling company called Transocean and was leased by oil company BP. On April 20th, 2010, a surge of natural gas blasted through a concrete core which had recently been installed. The core was too weak to withstand the pressure, so the gas traveled up the rig's platform where it ignited, causing a massive explosion. The rig fully capsized 2 days later. 11 people were killed and 17 were injured. It is estimated that more than 134 million gallons of oil was released, making it one of the largest oil spills in history. In September 2016, Lionsgate released a movie based on the incident. It was called Deepwater Horizon and starred Mark Wahlberg, Gina Rodriguez, John Malkovich, Ethan Suplee, and Kurt Russell. Fun fact, Kurt Russell was in the 2007 movie Grindhouse with Danny Trejo, who was in the 1997 classic Con Air with Nicolas Cage. The Cage Connection game is now at 7. Why?
That's the first one I've seen coming.
Yeah.
The first one. And
Yeah.
by the way, not a note. It was delightful. But I think it's just that I'm primed for it now. God, what a gift.
Yeah. Who does this? Nobody else.
And that's what you sign up for when you're signing up for True Crime and Cocktails, folks.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't want a
It's
random Nicolas Cage Easter egg in every episode, get the
Mhm.
fuck out, you know?
Like I also like I don't know what I'm doing. It's just also such a delicate balance to find a
Mhm.
place before we get too serious to bring them up because I can't bring them up after we've gotten too serious. But
Well,
also, the second I heard Deepwater Horizon, I'm like, that was a movie. Oh, this will be an easy one.
yeah,
And then I was like, surely he was in a movie with one of these people. Nope, it's fine. I found a way.
of course.
Found a way. Shout out to Danny Trejo because what a gift that man is to
Oh,
cinema.
yeah.
I said what I said. So according to the Center for Biological Diversity, the Deepwater Horizon oil spill killed approximately 6,000 sea turtles,
Mm.
25,000 marine mammals, 82,000 birds, and countless fish. Oil company BP paid more than $60 billion in fines, and due to the toxins that were released when the oil spilled, not only did people who helped clean it up get sick, but also so did a lot of people who lived along the coast. Thousands of people filed lawsuits against BP regarding their illnesses, but most were dismissed because BP lawyers argued that there was no biological evidence to prove that the plaintiffs' illnesses were caused by the oil spill, even though there was research that linked exposure to the spill to a variety of illnesses like cancer, respiratory conditions, heart disease. In 2012, BP paid workers and coastal residents $67 million in a class action lawsuit. And while that sounds impressive, due to the large number of plaintiffs, 80% of them were only awarded about $1,300. On one hand, that's a lot of money. On the other hand, that pales in comparison to what they're paying in medical bills due to the illnesses caused by that oil spill. I couldn't determine if that was the specific lawsuit or if there was another one, but Matthew Jacobs, who was able to get to a lifeboat following the explosion, which did leave him with severe PTSD, he received nearly 2 million from a BP lawsuit. Matthew decided that the first thing he wanted to do was buy a house, so he chose the small community of Camden, Arkansas, which at the time had a population of roughly 11,810. At the realty office of Century 21, Matthew met realtor Donna Herring. Donna Christina Foster was born in Camden in December 1966. Every article that I've seen about her puts her age where her birthday would be like 1968. But according to her marriage record in 2007, she was 40, turning 41 that year. So that means 1966 is accurate. Does her genuine age matter in this case? Not even close. I just like facts.
Of course.
Donna's parents, Fred and Carol, had four children, including daughters Debbie, Donna, and Diane, as well as son Gary. Carol passed away in 2010 at the age of 74, and Fred passed away in 2013 at the age of 78. Again, I like the facts. Not much is known about Donna's youth. She studied at the Arkansas College of Barbering and Hair Design from 1986 to 1987, and at some point shortly after that, she married her first husband, James Peterson. The couple had a daughter, Jordan Alexandra Peterson, known as Alex, in April 1995. But according to Donna, while James was a good father, he didn't understand that he shouldn't date other people while they were married. So the couple divorced in 2000. Donna kept Peterson as her surname until June 2007 when she married Charles Douglas Herring, known as Doug. Donna completed a real estate course and started at Century 21 in 2006. Now, the first time that Donna makes an appearance in the documentary, she boldly says she doesn't believe in the Me Too movement and then immediately asks if the documentary might get an Oscar. And I think that's a lot of information to absorb about a person in a
Mm-hmm.
single
Mm-hmm.
moment.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't say a lot, but she also said too much, if that's
There's a reason I suggested we do this case.
yeah, I've also I tend to be angry at men when we do these sorts of things, but oh, the rage I felt about a woman.
Yeah,
So
well placed.
it happens. It happens. So in the documentary, Donna denied being the person who sold Matthew his house, claiming she was only there when he signed a few papers. But everyone else involved said Donna absolutely was the one who sold Matthew the house, which was just 500 meters from Donna's own house on the same street. I assume Donna denies being his realtor because if she was the one to convince him to buy a house so close to her, it almost looks like Donna was trying to weasel her way into Matthew's life because after that nearly $2 million lawsuit, he quickly became the most eligible bachelor in town. Once Matthew moved in, Donna started bringing him food, inviting him over for supper. Was she just being neighborly, or did she have her sights set on his money? We'll never know. But friends say Donna became like a surrogate mother to Matthew. She told him he was bored and he needed a job. And Matthew said, well, no one's going to hire me because I have PTSD. And she said, well, my husband will. Sure enough, Doug welcomed Matthew to his pest control company. Less than a year after Matthew moved in, Donna started shoving her daughter Alex at him. At first, she arranged for Alex to be Matthew's housekeeper, and in 2013, Donna started urging Matt and Alex to date, even though Alex was in high school at the time.
Mm.
In the spring of 2013, Matthew was 33, Alex 18. And if that age gap wasn't cringy enough, Alex was just 2 years older than Matthew's son. Yeah. But Matthew and Alex did eventually start dating and even became engaged at some point in 2014. Alex attended Henderson State University in Arkadelphia, which sounds completely made up, but
Mm-hmm.
is a real place and is located about 50 miles north of Camden. While at school, Alex stayed at a rental property that Matthew owned, and during the summer, she lived with Matthew in Camden. According to Matthew's son Jordan, Alex repeatedly tried to push Jordan out of Matthew's life. Did Alex think that Matthew only had room in his life for one teenager? Or possibly, like her mother, was she setting her sights on Matthew's money? On January 19th, 2015, Matthew was driving his 2005 Chrysler Crossfire along Highway 79 when he lost control of the vehicle. Around 9 p.m., the vehicle crossed 5 lanes of traffic and hit a tree. According to the accident report written by the Arkansas State Police, there was no evidence that Matthew hit the brakes, and he was also not wearing a seatbelt at the time. Matthew Jacobs was determined to be dead on scene. He was just 34 years old. The first person on scene was Lieutenant James Bolton with the Wichita County Sheriff's Department. He personally knew Matthew, so he was quickly able to identify him. There was nothing to indicate foul play. Matthew didn't have a history of medical problems, and when the coroner arrived on scene and took a blood sample, it came back negative for alcohol and recreational drugs. So, what caused Matthew to crash the car? The road was clear and dry. There were no signs he tried to use the brakes. So that means either he fell asleep at the wheel, he passed out in some way, or was distracted and not looking at the road. The coroner, Sylvester Smith, determined that Matthew had suffered trauma to the head, chest, and legs, and therefore it wasn't necessary to perform an autopsy. On the death certificate, Sylvester noted, quote, "For some unknown reason, Mr. Jacobs lost control of the car he was driving and ran off the roadway." So they couldn't determine why Matthew lost control of his vehicle, but still felt no autopsy was necessary? That feels suspicious, especially since the decision not to do an autopsy was made without the consent of Matthew's family. And just adding to the suspicion is the fact that once Lieutenant Bolton identified Matthew, he didn't contact Matthew's family. He contacted Donna Herring first. Donna was very familiar with the higher up members of the local police, as well as local politicians and even the coroner. People referred to Donna as the Queen Bee, although no one had an answer as to how Donna got the title, especially since I personally found her to be infuriating with that smug little smile.
Mm-hmm.
But she was beloved in town and had a close relationship with the people who responded to Matthew's accident. In the documentary, Donna tells the coroner, quote, "I wasn't worried about it because I knew you were in charge. You're going to do what's right." And what, in Donna's opinion, was what's right? The coroner just not fully doing his job? Because he certainly pulled that off. Donna went with the lieutenant to notify Matthew's brother, Lance Reed. While there, Donna allegedly pulled Lance's wife, Shauna, aside and told her they needed to start protecting Matthew's assets. Shauna said she really wasn't concerned about that at the moment because they were still trying to process what had happened. Donna said she just wanted to protect Matthew and Alex because it was Matthew's last wishes. Well, how would Donna know what Matthew's last wishes were? She claimed Matthew had created a will, and she knew for a fact it was in his gun safe. But when Lance and Jordan checked Matthew's house, they didn't find a will anywhere. So Donna took it upon herself to make all the arrangements for Matthew's funeral and burial. I believe she must have been the person who also wrote his obituary, because that would explain why Donna and her husband were listed as special friends and why Matthew's two step-siblings weren't mentioned at all. On January 27th, 8 days after Matthew's death, Donna claims while searching Matt's gun safe, which for some reason she had the combination to, she happened to find the will. Interesting how it magically showed up after Lance and Jordan had checked. Well, according to the will, Matthew's fiancée Alex was the main beneficiary who was set to receive most of the estate, with the exception of $50,000, which was to be given to Matthew's son Jordan, but only after he completed either college or trade school. It seems strange that Matthew would leave everything to a woman he'd been dating for less than 2 years and give his son such a small amount. Is $50,000 a lot of money? Hell yeah. But when the estate is worth roughly $1.7 million, $50,000 seems like a drop in the bucket. Matthew's family became suspicious when they saw the will was signed May 2014, just months after Matthew and Alex started dating. So now it seems even stranger he would leave most of his money to her instead of his son. 5 months after Matthew's death, his co-worker, Jimmy Davis, was found dead. Around 9:30 p.m. on June 14th, 2015, Jimmy went to the Valero store on Cash Road and purchased beer. He was last seen walking home towards the bridge near Cash Road and Wadley Creek. The following day, Jimmy's body was found under the bridge. James Lee Davis III, known as Jimmy, was 61 at the time of his death. He worked with Matthew Jacobs at Meek's Pest Control, which was owned by Donna's husband, Doug. There was no evidence of trauma or anatomical cause of death. Following an autopsy, coroner Sylvester Smith determined that Jimmy's manner of death was undetermined. Police said it was likely an accidental drowning. To which I say, did the autopsy indicate any water in the lungs? Based on Sylvester's work in Matthew's case, it feels like there was no true attempt to find Jimmy's cause of death. So it's not a surprise that there were rumors in Camden that Jimmy's death wasn't an accident and that neither was Matthew's. But what motive would someone have to kill Jimmy and Matthew? Money would obviously be a pretty big motive for Matthew, but I don't think Jimmy was in a similar financial situation. But two suspicious deaths of coworkers at a very small company feels unlikely. Was Matthew killed for his money and Jimmy knew something about it? Or was one of them killed and the other just happened to die around the same time? Of course, the other possibility is Matthew and Jimmy's deaths aren't related at all and were simply both accidents. But again, that just feels unlikely. Matthew's will went through probate and the assets were distributed in December 2015. As the main beneficiary, Alex Peterson immediately gave away or traded a few of the properties, including houses, cars, and boats. She also received a check for $884,000, which she used to buy several new vehicles and take numerous tropical vacations. According to Matthew's son Jordan, Alex took the first vacation less than 3 months after the funeral, and she was accompanied by her new boyfriend.
Oh, wow.
And while it feels sketchy to not only have a new boyfriend and almost immediately after your fiance dies, there is also the fact of getting a large sum of money and just immediately starting to buy large items. Donna tried to make this appear less sketchy by saying, well, nothing flamboyant was purchased. I'd love to know her definition of that.
Yeah, for real.
Um, and while it might be true, because yeah, she bought cars and stuff, 3 months after Alex received the money, Donna bought herself a new car worth almost $27,000 with money from the estate. But Matthew's family were still suspicious about the will, so Matthew's brother Lance contacted Little Rock tax lawyer Adam Reed. Adam looked over the will and immediately said there were red flags. For one thing, there's a section that shows the inheritance percentage. It was blank. And Adam says that would never happen if this was created by a professional. The will also stated that Matthew was engaged to Alex Peterson, but since there is no legal significance to being engaged, there is no point to making that statement in a legal document. Now, keeping in mind, I've only seen one page of the will, and I'm not a professional in any way. But the thing that immediately stood out to me was the fact that the word vehicles was spelled VECHICELS. So right out the gate, I immediately was like, oh, a professional was not involved in making this if
Right.
vehicles was so badly spelled. Um, Also, the first page of the will stated that the executor of the will should make arrangements for the body to be cremated and for the ashes to be given to Alex. Well, Lance said his brother never once mentioned cremation, and he believed that Matthew would want to be buried next to his mother. To be clear, Matthew's body was not cremated. Donna's sister, Marion Kinley, who went by Diane, and Diane's husband, John Kinley, signed the will as witnesses. They dated it May 13th, 2014. Adam discovered that the will had been made online using the website formswift.com. When Adam contacted the company, they told him the will had been created January 24th, 2015, 5 days after Matthew's death. It was believed that the fake will had been created by Donna Herring using a photocopy of Matthew's signature from his real estate paperwork. So it's clear that Donna wanted to guarantee her daughter that money. Is it possible that Matthew's death was an accident and Donna somehow orchestrated things to ensure her daughter got the money? Well, pretending to be someone else while creating a legal document is identity theft. And since the company who owns the website is based in California, when Donna paid for the will, she was committing wire fraud. Adam Reed contacted the FBI field office in Little Rock, and Agent Tanya Sablatera took the case. On July 13th, 2016, search warrants were issued for Donna's house as well as the Century 21 office. When Donna was interviewed, she admitted to making the will online after Matthew's death. Donna claimed she found Matthew's actual will and he had left everything to Alex. Donna said, out of the goodness of her heart,
Come
she
on.
made a new will to add Matthew's son because she felt it was the right thing to do. When asked what happened to the real will, Donna said she threw it away because she didn't need it anymore. Funny thing about the will, though, it mentioned that Matthew's wish was to be cremated, even though at the time the will was being created, Matthew had already been buried. So why choose cremation in the will? According to the tax lawyer, the default option was buried. So Donna would have had to go into a drop down menu and choose cremation. Why add that detail if it didn't already happen? When Agent Sablatera asked Donna what she thinks might have happened the night Matthew died, Donna said, well, Matthew's doctor had been overprescribing his medication, and she believed he just took too many Xanax. Well, how would Donna know what the correct dosage for Matthew would be? As far as I can tell, she has no medical training whatsoever. But we don't know if there was Xanax in Matthew's system because when the coroner drew blood at the scene, he only tested for alcohol and recreational drugs. He didn't test for Xanax or any sort of prescription drugs. And speaking of the scene, when the sheriff's deputy found Matthew's phone in the car following the accident, he gave it to Matthew's brother Lance, who in turn gave it to Alex. Around the time Donna was being questioned by the FBI, they also questioned Alex, specifically asking about Matthew's phone. Alex said she'd gotten rid of it, so she didn't know where it was. But when the FBI tracked the phone down, they discovered Alex had given it to her current boyfriend.
Oof.
Can you imagine giving your dead fiance's phone to your new boyfriend? Am I the only one who thinks that's weird? Because it's not like she didn't have the money to buy a new phone. So why give it to someone else, especially a new boyfriend? By the time the FBI were able to retrieve the phone, it had been wiped multiple times and was useless to them. When Alex was asked again about the phone, she claimed before Matthew died, she had seen sexual texts on his phone to another woman. Alex claimed she suspected that Matthew was seeing someone else around Christmas 2014 and that she believed Matthew was on his way to see the other woman on the night he died. When Matthew's friends were asked, they said Matthew told them about a woman named Lori Skeens, who he met while doing a pest control job at Lori's father's house. When Lori was asked about the potential affair, she said it had only been some suggestive texts back and forth and that nothing physical had happened between them. Some of Matthew's friends claim that days before his death, Matthew said he had broken up with Alex and was planning on being with Lori. Jeff Davis, a friend of Matthew's, said before Matthew's death, he mentioned having problems with Alex. He said Alex was preventing Matthew from seeing his son, and Matthew was upset about it. 2 days before his death, Jeff saw Matthew and Jimmy working at a job, and in front of Jimmy, Matthew told Jeff that he decided, yes, I'm breaking things off with Alex. But when he tried, her family started threatening to go to the police because he had been with Alex when she was a minor. Donna absolutely denies this. So, did Matthew and Alex break up? If so, that's a pretty big motive for murder. Not to mention a big motive to make a fake will to guarantee that Alex would get Matthew's money. Did Donna make the fake will as a fuck you to Matthew because of the potential breakup? Or even because of his potential relationship with Lori? Since Alex supposedly knew about Lori, and since Alex and Donna were incredibly close, it feels likely that Donna would also have known about Lori. Well, according to Donna, she didn't learn about Lori until 4 or 5 months after Matthew's death. And when she did learn about her, Donna called Lori and allegedly threatened her. Donna said she remembers calling Lori, but she doesn't remember what was said because she was so angry that she had gone into full mama bear mode. So, was Donna really that angry over a potential affair months after the fact? Or was she angry that Matthew dumped her daughter for another woman and is trying to change the timeline to remove any possible motive? Because I believe Donna would get angry about Matthew finding someone else, especially if Donna had tried to manipulate Matthew into dating her daughter in the first place. Following the FBI investigation in November 2016, Donna, her sister Diane, and Diane's husband John were all charged with wire fraud, money laundering, and aggravated identity theft. For lying about the phone, Alex was charged with obstruction and making a false statement, as well as wire fraud and money laundering. Donna pled not guilty, and her trial was eventually set for February 2018. But on December 30th, 2017, police were called to a Camden home where they found Lori Skeens in bed with a gunshot wound to the chest. It was said that when police arrived, Lori was barely breathing, but she did not survive. Lori Skeens was described as someone who loved to laugh and was a joy to be around. She was just 42 at the time of her death. Now, according to her death certificate, Coroner Sylvester Smith said Lori's cause of death was a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest. According to those who knew her, Lori had a history of depression and suicidal thoughts. The coroner also said Lori had recently been diagnosed with lung cancer, as though that automatically explains his findings. We don't know what Lori was going through personally, so it's possible her death was a suicide. But there are just some things about her death that stand out to me. Um, According to the Everytown website, 26,000 Americans die every year by firearm suicide. 87% of those deaths are male. So while it does happen with women, it is far less common. Secondly, Lori was found in her bedroom, in the dark, in bed, under the covers. I'm not a professional, but do a lot of self-inflicted gunshot victims tuck themselves into bed in a dark room before things happen? It just feels odd to me. But also, so does the fact that the wound was to the chest and not to the head. Statistically speaking, regarding self-inflicted wounds, a gunshot wound to the chest is far less common than a gunshot wound to the head. It's not that it never happens, but a head wound is likely more common due to the higher mortality rate. According to the American Association of Neurological Surgeons, gunshot wounds to the head are fatal about 90% of the time. Even then, 50% of those who survive that initial trauma will die in the emergency room. And then, according to the European Journal of Cardiothoracic Surgery, the mortality rate for a gunshot wound to the chest, depending on the location, is between 14.3% and 36.8%. So it seems statistically more likely to survive a gunshot wound to the chest than to survive a gunshot wound to the head. So if this was suicide, why choose a method you might survive? The answer could be it was a cry for help. She genuinely wanted to live, something along those lines. But why choose a method that would cause a potentially long, drawn out, painful death? Is Laurie's death truly connected to her mental health history and her possible recent cancer diagnosis? I have to believe the FBI confirmed that cancer diagnosis was real because I do not trust that coroner. Um, Also, was there gunshot residue on her hands? That's a question that I'd like answered. The timing of her death is just so suspicious since just 2 months after her death, she was meant to be a witness at Donna's trial. Donna said Lori wasn't a real witness because she had nothing to tell. Well, Lori was on the witness list for a reason, so there's that. About a month before the trial, Donna Herring pleaded guilty to one count of wire fraud. She said the entire thing was her fault and her daughter, Alex, was innocent. Alex pled guilty to making false statements to the police. Donna's sister, Diane Kinley, pled guilty to conspiracy to commit wire fraud. And Diane's husband, John Kinley, pled guilty to wire fraud. For some unknown reason, all the other charges were dropped. And while this was simply regarding the fake will that Donna had made, Matthew's family were still questioning what happened to Matthew on the night of the accident. Tax lawyer Adam Reed looked at the accident report and thought it was suspicious that the airbag had deployed and that there were signs of trauma to the head and chest, and yet not a single drop of blood inside the car. Even though tax law was Adam's expertise, he still felt it was suspicious that an autopsy was not performed. Some people had suggested that since Donna often cooked for Matthew, she might have poisoned him, given that her husband owned a pest control company and Donna would have easy access to a variety of chemicals. So Adam, along with Matthew's family, pushed to have an autopsy, and in 2018 it was decided that Matthew's body would be exhumed. When Donna heard about the exhumation, she was disgusted. She said it was a joke and they needed to leave that child alone. It's interesting she didn't want answers as to what happened to Matthew. If someone I cared about died, I need to know exactly the reason. Now, in a case like this where a body is being exhumed for the sake of an autopsy, law enforcement works closely with local pathologists to ensure everything is done by the book and it's all well documented. And with the lead pathologist in the county out of town, no specific exhumation date had been set. But FBI agent Sablatera got a phone call that coroner Sylvester Smith had taken it upon himself to exhume the body. Sablatera called Matthew's son and told him, get to the cemetery immediately.
I need to pause.
Yep.
So sorry.
Nope. Sure.
All right, we had a bit of a technical foul there, so we'll clap again. One, two, three.
And with the lead pathologist in the county out of town, no specific exhumation date had been set. But FBI agent Sablatera got a call that coroner Sylvester Smith had taken it upon himself to exhume the body. Sablatera called Matthew's son and told him, get to the cemetery immediately. When Jordan arrived, he said the county workers were removing the coffin and they were so sloppy they dropped it 3 times before officially getting it out of the ground. Almost sounds like they were in a hurry and trying to get this done before anyone noticed. Seems kind of suspicious to me. Sylvester Smith said, well, he thought the police left the date up to him, but they hadn't because he wasn't the one meant to perform the autopsy. I am fascinated to know what would have happened if Sylvester had exhumed the body without anyone noticing. During the autopsy, the pathologist tested for 300 different drugs and narcotics. It all came back negative. I guess the doctor didn't overprescribe Xanax as Donna had once suggested. The problem is they can't just test for poison. They have to test for specific poisons separately. But since they didn't know which poison they might be testing for, we'll never know if Matthew Jacobs was ever poisoned.
Right.
The pathologist determined that Matthew's cause of death was a ruptured aorta. Even after the autopsy, the cause of Matthew's accident remains unknown. When Sylvester Smith was asked about the autopsy results, he said he was happy to be proven right. Just a reminder, Sylvester had listed the cause of death as trauma to the head and chest. Sylvester said, quote, I know Miss Donna, she wouldn't kill nobody, not over no money. Does that mean Donna might kill someone over something else? I'm only speculating here. Um, but what if Matthew broke up with Alex and was trying to move on with Lori, and Donna went, as she said, full mama bear and had Matthew killed, possibly poisoned him, and then after his funeral, she made the fake will to get his money, believing her daughter was owed something? Is it possible that Matthew's death was truly an accident and Donna made the fake will just to ensure her daughter would get something out of the relationship? It's possible, but no issues with the car and seemingly no issues with the driver. This accident is incredibly suspicious, and I'm just shocked they didn't automatically do an autopsy. In 2019, Donna Herring, Diane Kinley, John Kinley, and Alex Peterson were all sentenced. Diane was sentenced to 18 months in prison. Her husband John was sentenced to 12 months plus 1 day in prison, and Alex was sentenced to 6 months house arrest, followed by 3 years probation. As the mastermind behind the whole fake will, Donna Herring was sentenced to 41 months in prison, followed by 3 years probation. On top of prison time, Donna, Diane, and John were ordered to pay Jordan Jacobs $132,000, $132,964.66 in restitution. As part of her guilty plea, Donna was required to give some sort of public statement. And that's when she dropped the bombshell claim that Matthew's brother, Lance Reed, not only knew the will was fake, but also helped Donna make it. Donna claims while she was making the will at her office around midnight on January 24th, Lance and his wife Shauna were at the office with her. Donna claims Lance wanted half the money, as well as Matthew's tractor and some welders. She said Lance told her Matthew didn't want his son Jordan to get a single thing, but she felt bad and added Jordan into the will anyway. So if Lance and Shauna were really involved, why didn't they actually get anything out of the will? And
Right.
why weren't they used as the two witnesses? To me, it's more believable that Matthew's brother and sister-in-law would witness Matthew signing a will as opposed to Donna's sister and brother-in-law. Why would they be involved at all? Even if Matthew was super close with Donna, why wouldn't he use her as a witness? Why her sister? Why would she bother getting her sister involved at all if she's going through this whole thing of making a fake will with supposedly two other people? Why not just use those two other people when they're already there instead of involving other people? And if Lance truly helped make that fake will, why was he one of the main people who was trying to contest it? Lance, of course, denied any involvement, but Donna just kept saying she had text messages that proved her story. Well, FBI agent Tanya Sablatera reviewed the messages and said they were circumstantial at best. She states she believes Lance and Shauna were not involved in the will. And while there is no indication that a real will has ever been found, there is belief that it absolutely did exist. Because in Matthew's life insurance policy, there is a part that reads, Estate of Matthew Jacobs per last will and testament. And if it's any indication as to who might have been the main beneficiary in that real will, the beneficiary of Matthew's life insurance policy was his son, Jordan. Donna and the Kinleys were ordered to return all property from Matthew's estate that had been taken, which is the first time that I heard Donna's sister taking anything of Matthew's. That hadn't come up before. Not only did they have to return the property that they had taken, they also had to return any property that they had purchased with proceeds from Matthew's estate and any leftover money. The court ordered everything to be given to Jordan Jacobs. The government, for whatever reason, did not seek restitution from Alex, despite her being given nearly $900,000. In April 2020, Jordan married his girlfriend Sierra Williams. The couple has since had a son, Matthew Seth Jacobs II. John and Diane Kinley started serving their prison sentences in January 2020, but just 2 months later, they both requested compassionate leave due to COVID-19. They didn't have COVID. They just requested to leave prison because they were worried they would get it. Their leave was granted in June 2020, and they were both allowed to serve the rest of their sentences at home under house arrest. In January 2020, Donna started her sentence at the women's prison in Bryan, Texas, after serving 13 months. Reminder, she was sentenced to 41 months. After 13 months, Donna was given early release due to COVID. Her sentence wasn't changed into house arrest. She was simply released. When asked about her time in prison, Donna said, quote, "Prison was not anything scary. It was perfectly fine. I was perfectly fine. COVID hit. There wasn't a lot to do. I played a lot of cards, read a lot of books." Do we believe her time in prison was just super chill? Or do we think that lying on the documentary means she was simply lying to herself to act like it was not a big deal? I just can't imagine any amount of time in prison wouldn't be horrific in at least some way. But whether her statement about prison was true or not, Donna continued to lie in the documentary. She said, quote, "I don't give a diddly damn what anyone thinks." I think we can all agree she absolutely does. I'm not a professional, but whenever Donna is told about the rumors that the documentary filmmakers heard about her, she immediately gets defensive, says everybody else is wrong, everybody else is lying. Why get so defensive if you don't care what they actually think? And while I may not be a professional, I also think this wasn't the only time in the documentary when Donna wasn't truthful. There was a time when she started talking about Matthew's death and she got emotional and held a tissue up to her face to stop the tears that absolutely weren't coming. But there were two separate moments when Donna cried while speaking about her daughter, Alex. At one point, she teared up when she said her husband, Doug, was a really good father to Alex. Later, she gets emotional again when she talks about the fact that this entire thing strained her relationship with her daughter. In those two moments, I do believe that Donna was genuinely crying. And since they were such a stark contrast to how she acted when she supposedly was crying over Matthew, it just feels like when it comes to his death, Donna's reaction was more crocodile tears than anything else. Again, I'm not an expert. I could be wrong. But the only thing Donna Herring did in that documentary that seemed genuine was her regret over her current relationship with her daughter. She tried to make it seem like she was the only person in that entire documentary linked to Matthew who was like caring for his gravesite to this day. Um, I don't, I also believe that was a lie. The one thing about Donna, again, not a professional, but I really feel like she likes control.
Hmm.
There was a separate interview. Um, Donna was asked about her daughter's relationship with Matthew. Donna said she was worried that Alex would give up college to get married. She said she wanted her daughter to have the full college experience with parties and sororities because it was something Donna didn't have, and she wanted her daughter to have all the things that Donna missed out on. Donna said, usually when it came to her daughter's relationships, she was able to tell her daughter what to do. Donna said, quote, "We do it my way, or the pretty shiny stuff can go away." But in the case of Alex's relationship with Matthew, he had the money to offer her anything she wanted, and suddenly Donna's only leverage over her daughter was gone. So was it just about Matthew's money, or was it the fact that Donna no longer felt she could control her own daughter? And if Matthew's death was really made to look like an accident, whether for the sake of control or money or even revenge, what about the random death of Matthew's coworker, Jimmy Davis? Was Jimmy Davis also made to look like an accident because he knew something about Matthew's death that he shouldn't? Or was it simply a tragic accident? And what about Laurie Skeens? Did she really take her own life, or was her death part of the revenge plot? As of this record, the deaths of Matthew Jacobs and Jimmy Davis both remain listed as accidents, while Laurie Skeens' death remains self-inflicted. There do not appear to be any active investigations on any of those cases. Reporting for True Crime and Cocktails, I'm Christy Oxborrow.
Ugh, what a wild ride. Listen, let's hit
Yeah.
the can, grab a drink, and we'll be back with our thoughts on the Southern Fried Lies episode of True Crime and Cocktails.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are with yet another clap on three. One, two, three. Welcome back to this episode of True Crime and Cocktails. We're, of course, discussing Southern Fried Lies. At the beginning of this episode, you accidentally said relation slips. And I feel like that just really
Mm.
resonated with me because I was thinking of all the times it's like you break up with somebody, but then you kind of have the backslide. And I was like, that's a
Yeah,
relation slip. You know what I mean?
it is. It
Yeah.
is. You're right.
I think
You're
you came
right.
up with a new term.
I like
Um,
the idea of being an icon over a boob. So I'll take
it's the
I'll
truth.
take it. I'll
It's the
take it.
truth. You said roustabout, and I cannot explain to you why, but what immediately entered my mind was Mr. Lover Lover. I don't know. They call him Mr. Boombastic. I don't know why roustabout and boombastic. I don't know. I don't know.
I I mean this from the depths of my soul. I would love to go through the rest of my years with Shaggy Energy
Yeah, you and me
because
both.
he gets in there like there's a
Gets
grit.
low. He gets
There's a
low.
grit in there that I like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, then you said Gina Rodriguez, and I wrote down Gina with a smiley face.
That's
This is the level
nice.
of notes we've got tonight, folks.
I
Um,
I'm here for it.
okay. Every time I hear Camden, it makes me think of Amy Winehouse. Like,
Oh,
wasn't that where I should have Googled this on the break. What was I thinking? Um, wasn't that a thing?
as soon as you said Camden, I didn't think of it till this moment, but as soon as you said Camden, I was like, oh, the Seventh Heaven family.
No, I was right. I was right. Amy Winehouse, a Camden native and music icon, which also makes me think, of course, of Youngblood. But then
Great.
again, what doesn't make me think of Youngblood?
Hey
Um,
yo.
I love him so. He's so talented. Okay. Now, I know that you were being potentially kind in your coverage, but the one thing that stood out to me when I
Mhm,
was watching that documentary, and I
mhm.
want to preface this by saying I understand that what I'm saying might sound offensive, and I don't intend it to. But I think the thing for me with the coroner
Mhm, mhm.
was that I don't want to say he didn't look like a coroner because it's not that. It was the teeth that I was like,
Mm,
I just always it alarms me when a medical professional has let that go.
sure.
Did that stand out to you?
Um, for me, it was just more the lack of him doing his job.
Well,
Um,
yeah, that yeah.
I think for me, like visually, the thing I noticed the most was he just didn't want to like look at the camera.
Yeah, there was something off
It
about him,
felt
I thought.
almost like a guilt. Like it
Yeah.
was just like I do whatever she tells me.
And then you have to wonder why.
Well, that's the other thing. I'm like, because again, like the kid, he was like in his 30s at the time, moves into the neighborhood and she's bringing him food, she's inviting him over, all of these things. Did she do that with any other neighbor or was it just him?
Great question.
Because it feels like she zeroed in on that money right away
Yeah.
and was like, "You're young, you're single. I have a daughter who's single and in high school, Donna. Stand down."
Yeah. But it's like, why was Donna contacted first after the death? Why was
Right?
Donna, like, why was the coroner like, oh, she wouldn't do this. She wouldn't kill someone over money. I'm like, why would you even speculate?
Oh, yeah. I mean, again, it just feels like it absolutely felt like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And he felt uncomfortable. Like he was like, I don't want to talk about this. To which I say, why don't you want to talk about it?
Well, exactly.
What happened
Exactly.
there?
What
I
happened
just
there?
can't imagine going to the scene of an accident being like, weird. I don't know why the car crashed. We're not even going to do an autopsy. And you
I
don't even
know.
give the family the option. You're just like, meh,
And to
I'm
be
not going to do
clear,
it.
I'm not suggesting that someone who has dental problems, I'm not suggesting that that means that they aren't able to do their job. Of course they can. I'm not suggesting that. It's just something about you see a lot of true crime documentaries, we see a lot of
Mhm.
coroners, we see a lot of medical examiners, all of the
Sure.
above. And I just the dental work, I don't know. I there was just something about it. There was just something about it for
Sure.
me that I was like, and it was, I think it was also mixed with the fact that we know that he was like not, yeah, well, something killed him. Not gonna bother doing an autopsy. It was like, that's alarming.
Right? To
Like, there's
just be
just
like,
something off about
don't
him.
know. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't love the idea of a coroner going, huh, don't know.
Yeah.
May as well not even try.
May as well not bother. Like,
Felt
what?
like it didn't have to happen. Finds out the police are like, we're absolutely exhuming this body. And then he goes, oh, okay, I'll quickly do it myself without anybody knowing.
Yeah.
What's that about? What were you going to do? Be like, I already did it. You don't have to.
That's weird. Um, okay. Alex taking her first vacation 3 months after the funeral with her new boyfriend. Not great. But then, of course, as we learn later, it's like, well, had they actually split up? Were they actually split up, you know, much before? Like, was this actually a boyfriend who'd been her life much longer?
Right?
It's none of it's great.
No.
None of it's great. And I think what's wild to me, too, just jumping ahead for a second, is like, it does seem crazy to me that something went on here. Like, this death was
Yeah.
unexplained. She has basically admitted to forging a will. And like, yeah, of course, people did a little jail time. She did a little jail time for that or whatever. But like, we never really get answers. Like
No.
the fact that it's like, well, we'll just never really know. It's like, what? It feels like there has to be foul play involved in this. In fact,
Right?
yes. What are the chances that it was like? I mean, I guess there's a world in which he had a heart attack and that's what happened. But like,
Mm.
was also pretty young. I understand he had been through a lot, but like, I don't know. It's just odd to me that it's like, well, everybody did a little bit of time and now we'll just all move on.
Right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
doesn't sit
There's
right.
none of it sits right,
No.
especially when she gets caught faking the will. And her only response is to repeatedly say, well, the only thing I changed was giving his son some money. Like, I'm this big hero. He should be so thankful to me. And it's like, all you did was give it to your daughter. And
Yeah.
then you used the money yourself.
Well, and that's the other thing too, right? Like, I'm not suggesting that she had him move into her neighborhood and started that whole thing with the intention that she was eventually going to kill him. I'm not saying that's what I
Sure.
think. Though, listen, in the grand scheme of anything being possible, we've heard weirder. Um, but I guess I just feel like it's like, yeah, like having him move in nearby, having him like ingratiating herself, bringing him over for meals, like
Mm.
pushing her very young daughter onto him, like all of it just feels like it has to have been about the money.
Oh, it has to be. Yeah, I agree. I don't believe her first instinct was, I'm gonna get him in close, then at some point we'll kill him. I think she really thought herself and her daughter are charming enough. He's gonna love it. We're gonna give him the family he always wanted. They'll get married, and then her daughter automatically is in with that money. And if they ever break up, well, they're married.
Hmm.
So daughter legally gets part of that money.
Right.
I think that was always the goal, and that was like why we're gonna be good friends with him right out the gate. But she then claims it's his family that wants his money, not her. They like him. They liked him for who he was.
Mm-hmm.
It was the family that wanted the money.
Right.
And I'm like, mm-hmm. But
Convenient.
you're the only one who benefited from that. You and your daughter
Right.
benefited from that will that you made.
Yeah.
And you gave your sister and brother-in-law like vehicles and properties and whatever,
Well, they were implicated.
right? So it's like, but you didn't, like his family didn't get anything,
Right.
but his
Well,
family are the bad ones.
exactly. I think the thing for me too is like I just have to say the discovery that the will was created 5 days after he had died
Mm,
online. Call me a kook, call me crazy. Should we be allowing will services to happen online like that? Like
no.
it feels like that's typically something that you at least need like a notary there for. And I mean, listen, we still know that those can be cheated. I bring you back to Carol Baskin, who, as we know,
Mm,
was a notary who was doing up to no good. But I just feel like that's one of the things that we shouldn't be allowing to happen online.
100%.
Yeah, it's weird. Um, oh, yeah, her being like, I had to try and help his son get something. Get bent. Um, I have to say, yeah, first of all, okay, so I skipped over Jimmy's death, which I shouldn't have, but like that's weird. The fact
Yeah.
that there's also Lori's death, like all of this, it's like, how deep does this thing go? Maybe it's a coincidence, but it feels like, again, a lot of unknown. The fact that it's the same coroner, the fact that that coroner is like it's just like, what is up? Like, I don't know. It just seems odd. It's so odd to me. Um, the fact that he said that Lori died by the self-inflicted gunshot wound to the chest, all of the reasons you listed, and I think that the most brilliant thing you said was, yeah, was there gunshot residue on her hands? Let's go.
Right?
Let's go. And by the way, if it's a gun death where
Mm,
someone's shot in the chest, it's crazy to me that it wasn't like, further investigated. But what am I talking about? We see that all the time on this show. That it's like, oh yeah, it was a suicide. Oh well, you know?
100%. Especially with this coroner who just came in and went, yep, and
Yeah.
then walked away.
Um, I want to thank you for referring to Adam Reed as tax lawyer Adam Reed almost every time. Sometimes you just referred to him as tax lawyer, and I couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah. Twofold.
Yep.
One, um, viciously attractive, and I don't know why. I don't know why how those two
Viciously.
I don't know how those I think it's because he saw a wrong and he wanted to right it. Because the whole point of hiring him in the first place was
Right.
this will feels off. Because he's tax lawyer Adam Reed, so that was his whole deal,
That's
right?
his job. That's what he's
Yeah.
trained in.
But he took it a step further by being like, show me the accident reports.
Hmm. Hmm.
Something's not right about the death. That's not what he does, but he was like, something's not right here. So his quest for the truth,
Mm.
immediately I was like, handsome man. I'm broken. And secondly, for some reason, there are so many people in this that I name and so many that had to be named. Like I couldn't not name like the 20 people that are involved in this. So I, for some reason, kept thinking if I ever just said Adam or just said Adam Reed, people would be like, who is Adam? When
Hmm.
did Adam come in? Like the day that I yelled, uh, I meant to yell at Cheddar, but I yelled Jared. And then I went, who the hell is Jared? I don't know. I just didn't want people to be like, who the hell is Adam?
Hmm.
And so I felt he should have a title every time I mention him. So that's my twofold explanation as to why that was done. Yeah.
Listen, I appreciated it. I did keep track of him easily that way, and I
And
just like it when people use their full name. You know what I mean? It's like when people call me Lauren Ash. A lot of people call me by my full name, Lauren Ash, and I like the
sure.
idea that he would be referred to as tax lawyer Adam Reed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just the only reason I'm explaining why I did it is because I'm pointing out it was intentional.
I
This was
assumed.
this was not like an oh, I didn't even realize I kept calling him tax lawyer
Oh,
or
to be
tax lawyer.
to be clear, it didn't read accidental at
Like
all.
I could have just called him a lawyer. I
No,
didn't have
no,
to
but it's the point that he was a
specifically.
tax lawyer and he was doing non-tax things. Again, I see you. I see you, baby.
He had a vibe.
I
He had
got
a
a
vibe and he
vibe.
wanted the truth.
Yeah,
Thank you so
that's
much.
all you need.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Yeah, I think the bottom line here again is like there was no issues with the car. Other Matthew was otherwise healthy, no drugs in his system. I know they couldn't test properly for the poisons, etc., but like anything from him feels unlikely. Um, and then the fact that it's also like, 6 months house arrest and probation for Alex. Donna getting 41 months in prison, then probation. Of course, we know that they got out early because of COVID. Um,
Right.
but the moment in the documentary for me was the moment that she was like, I'm coming forward about his brother-in-law because he was in on it. And it was like, and then of course the brother-in-law is like, what are you talking about? Like, it just felt like too little too late. It felt to me like it
Yeah.
was like, if that was true, which I don't believe it was at all, but if that was true, why was it not brought up at any time before then? Why
Right?
at no point was she like, I didn't work alone? She would have, in my opinion, if she was trying to get, exonerated from this crime, she would have brought that up sooner and been like, we
Yes.
also have to get him involved.
100%. It just felt like she was pissed that she was going to prison. And so her whole thing was, I'm going to drag them down with me.
Yeah,
That's what it felt like.
so weird. Um, I also think it's interesting that there appeared to be a will as because his
Mm,
son was referenced as being a beneficiary and like that's just gone now. Like I think it's fairly safe to say that maybe he did have a will in that gun cabinet or whatever it's called. Like maybe he did, maybe she did know the combination. Maybe all that's true, but that also doesn't prove that she didn't dispose of one and replace it with another, right?
100%. Well,
The
I think
fact
she
that
found it, saw that it went all to the son,
right.
and she was pissed about it.
Well, and I think the other misstep she made was she got greedy because it's like, why on earth? Like, if she had just split it 50
Yeah.
50 between the son and Alex, I think it still would have raised alarm bells because it was like, well, they hadn't been together that long. But at the same time, I don't think it would have raised the same level of alarm. I think people could
Yeah.
wrap their heads around, like, okay, well, he left half of everything to his son and the other half to his girlfriend or fiance or whatever. Like, you can wrap your head around that. But like
Yeah.
1.65 million or whatever it is, and then like 50 grand to the kid, like, doesn't make sense.
Oh, no.
Doesn't make any sense. And the fact that the government didn't go after the money from Alex is also interesting to me.
Right?
Yeah,
I can't, like, I also love that it was, well, they have to give back any leftover money.
right,
And it's like, okay, well, did Alex have to give back any of the cars she bought with the money? And then she, what, just gets to keep the rest of her check?
right.
It just feels weird to me.
Yeah. Um, yeah, no, I agree with you. And then the last thing I wanted to say was, you brought up that Donna was worried that Alex was gonna like give up her whole college experience and that she wanted
Right.
her to experienced sororities and parties and whatever and all the stuff she missed out on herself, then my question is, why did you push your teenage daughter to get into a relationship with a 33-year-old man? If you
Correct.
really wanted her to have that experience, why on earth would you have gone to the trouble? And it feels like it comes back to the same explanation as the rest of it, which is she saw an opportunity because he had a ton of money,
A
especially for
hundred
that
percent.
area, right? Like,
Yeah.
listen, $1.7 million dollars is a ton of money no matter where you are, don't get me wrong. But in a place like that, it's like that money's it's not like you're living in California with that kind of money where, cost of living is through the roof, etc. Like
Sure.
there it's like, yeah, you're the richest person in a I'm sure in like a, and especially because it was like settlement money. You know what I mean? Like, not that
Right.
I'm not saying he didn't deserve it, but it's not one of those things where it's like, yeah, well, that's Rob. He's been working for 40 years at a business and he has this money. It's like,
Right.
no, no, no. This is a young guy that just came into this money, happens to be single. It's a huge chunk of cash, especially for that area. It just feels like again, she was just trying to take advantage of the situation and was like, "Oh,
No.
my daughter's young and hot and whatever, and you guys should hook up." And then again, like I don't even buy this like I wanted her to have a real college experience. Did you? I don't buy that.
No.
I don't buy that. And I don't and I will also say I don't buy that as a motive for murder either. The motive for murder I buy is he was breaking up with her for somebody else. That I buy as a
Oh,
motive for
sure.
murder because then the money's on the line.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Yeah. But
I
all
just
of this
think there's
this other
no way
stuff,
she didn't go after him for that money.
I agree. I agree. It's just it again, it's like had they known the family since they were young, had it been a family friend, it wouldn't ring the
Right?
same alarm bell as, well, he went into a real estate business to buy a house and then suddenly the realtor is like making sure he buys one near her and then bringing him food and then having him over and then pushing her daughter on him to date and then they actually do date. Like it all feels and here's the other thing, wildly inappropriate at best.
Yes.
At
Oh,
best,
God, yes.
like that business should have been like, what are you doing? That is not an appropriate way to handle clients. And at worst, yeah, murderer.
100%.
But then I say, I will just say for a second, like, all right, let's say she did have something to do with it, right?
Sure.
What we have the motive that I buy that, well, her he may have broken up with her and was dating somebody else already. That's a motive, great. How did she do it then? Or how was it done? Do we believe that it was a poisoning, that he was given some kind of sedative, for example, that then because that's like Austin Powers where it's like we're gonna leave the room and this contraption is gonna slowly lower this person into a tank of sharks. Like it's like, don't you want to make sure they die? It's like I'm sure it'll happen. Like I don't know, you know what I mean? You would just think that if
Yeah.
somebody was like going to the trouble. The other possibility here is that it was an absolute accident. He had this heart condition, this heart issue. He died accidentally, but then she was just taking advantage of it. That's the only other, like, taking advantage of the death. That's the only other thing that makes sense to me. And it feels a little bit far-fetched.
Yeah, it's true. There's, of course, the possibility it just was what it was, but I mean, we know she took that money. She
Yeah.
admitted it. I mean, she admits giving the son money. She doesn't
Right.
admit taking all that money for her daughter and herself, let's be honest. Um, but yeah, it's possible. It was an accident. I just think the way she's like, oh, we love him. He's part of the family still.
Hmm.
Like, I just don't believe any of that. I believe she got her money and then was like, okay, well, let's move on.
Hmm.
I don't believe most of the things that come out of her mouth. Again, the documentary was so smart to just the first time we meet her in the same breath. I don't believe in the Me Too movement. Do you think this is going to get an Oscar? And I was like, wow, there's a lot to unpack there,
Yeah.
Donna.
Yeah, certainly.
I'd like more information about her thoughts on the Me Too movement, but also I think I would just get angry.
I also don't want to encourage her because that's how this woman ends up starting a podcast.
Oh my God. That I could see it. I
Tell
could
me
see
I'm
that
wrong.
happening. I think she's hoping she'll get famous off of this, and I think she's hoping that people are going to be as delighted by her as people in town seem to be.
I feel like she probably wouldn't identify this way. I was gonna say, I feel like she feels like she's the next Tiger King. Okay, she probably doesn't think she's the next Joe Exotic. Okay, but it does feel like,
Mhm.
he became kind of this like weird anti-hero in some way,
Sure.
right? So I don't know whether she thought like this is my documentary, this is my ticket.
Oh, I could see that.
Listen. Well, the bottom line is that it is confounding. It is very sad. And again, the fact that like they got all this money, they never had to pay it back. They did a little bit of slap on the wrist um penalties in terms of the like house arrest, probations, reduced sentence because of COVID. It's very sad.
Right.
It's very sad because we know that there was crime that they committed crimes. I mean, those crimes, wire fraud and shit like that. Yes, obviously a white collar crime, of course, but like serious. Those are serious charges.
100%.
Yeah. Christy Oxborrow, fantastic work as always. This, I knew you would shine as you always do, and I'm so glad I suggested it because what a romp.
Oh, what a delight. I screamed multiple times when it was like, oh, he died, and then there was a will, and I was like, I don't trust this will. And then it was like, it was made 5 days after his death. I was like, oh my God. And then more deaths are happening, and then more things, and then her bombshell of, well, the brother helped me. And I was like, get out. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
You see why I suggested it.
it was everything you could want
Yeah.
in a documentary.
It's a tragic and terrible story, but a
Of course.
fantastical one. Yeah. And we thank you, dear listeners, for coming with us on this wild ride. If you haven't already, give us a follow on the socials on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at True Crime and Cocktails, on Twitter at Not Detectives. If you'd like some bonus content, go over to patreon.com/True Crime and Cocktails to learn more about our subscription-based service over there. And of course, our only place to find official True Crime and Cocktails merch is, of course, truecrewmerch.com. So check that out as well if you're interested. Christy, do you want to tell the people about next week's episode?
On the next True Crime and Cocktails, Blanche Taylor Moore.
Now, this is our July patrons poll pick. They were asking for a serial killer. That was what got voted. And so I have never heard of Blanche Taylor Moore, but the name Blanche has me excited. And the fact
Of
that it's a
course.
serial killer case also has me excited. So I am looking forward to that. Christy, do you want to tell to say goodnight to the people?
Good night, tax lawyer Adam Reed.
Good night, Smithers.